All right, guys, happy Tuesday. Thanks for coming to Let's Talk Wellness. We're here with Holly and Shannon to discuss the importance of a balanced workout. So I'm going to turn it over to them.
All right. Hello, everybody. Holly and I are happy to be here today with you all and to present on what it takes to have a balanced workout. So specifically today, we will hit three main exercises and components in a workout: cardiovascular activity, strength conditioning, and flexibility training. So doing each of these on a regular basis will result in a well-balanced fitness routine. Let me grab the PowerPoint 1 second. Okay. So we know some people have a passion for strictly just running. I love running as well, so I completely understand. And others, on the other hand, just like to strength train. There are several benefits to fitting a little bit of each into your workout routine, along with some flexibility training. So first, let's dive into how exercise can benefit us overall just to get started. So Jen, if you don't mind flipping to slide 2. All right, so how does exercise benefit me? Overall, exercise delivers oxygen and nutrients to your tissues and helps your cardiovascular system work more efficiently. And when your heart and lung health improves, you have more energy to tackle daily tasks, along with some good exercise. So let's take a look at this slide. So exercise reduces the risk of cardiovascular diseases, high blood pressure, which I'm sure you've all heard, type 2 diabetes, the risk of cancer, obesity, so it helps maintain your weight. It improves your bone mass and reduces risk of osteoporosis, which is huge with strength training specifically. Helps with weight management. So if you're looking to lose weight, even just tone up. Immunity is huge, especially now today. Mental health, and it prevents and helps with depression, and especially with some stress management, which I always say if I'm stressed, I love to go out on a run, long distance run, clear my mind. So that's great for you. And then of course, helps you live with like a longer life. So as you can see, just exercising has so many benefits on the human body. The list could go on and on, honestly. Now let's take a look at physical activity guidelines for Americans. Hitting these guidelines will lead you to a healthier lifestyle and allow you to obtain the benefits we just talked about. So Jen, if you could just flip to slide 3. All right, so we have this little chart. I know it's hard to see, so I'll kind of go further into depth with it a little bit. So let's just start with adults. Adults should move more and sit less throughout the day. Some physical activity is better than none at all. So adults who sit less and do any amount of moderate to vigorous physical activity gain some health benefits. So for substantial health benefits, adults should do at least 150 minutes to 300 minutes a week of moderate intensity. So really for the additional benefits like weight loss, you'll see you're gonna aim more towards the 300 minutes a week. Or you could look to 75 minutes to 150 minutes a week of vigorous intensity aerobic physical activity. So
Sharon, I just wanted to interject real quick. I just always think it's crazy. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody caught that amount of minutes, right? So you're talking about 60 minutes, 5 days a week, right? Less you can see some improvement, but if you want to lose weight or something or make like real fitness gains, you're talking about 60 minutes plus. Now moderate, but you got to get up, you got to move, and more days than not.
Yes, for sure. So you want to aim to get that aerobic activity kind of spread out throughout the week, and then you'll throw in that strength training. So again, like we said, if you do want to hit that 300 minutes, that's where there's additional health benefits. If you're looking to lose weight, anything specific. And then like I just said, adults should also do muscle strengthening activities of moderate or greater intensity, and then involve all major muscle groups. So that'll hit like the specific ones 2 or more days a week, as these activities provide additional health benefits, especially for the bones. It helps with that. So older adults, actually the key guidelines for also apply to older adults, in addition to the following key guidelines that are just for older adults. As part of their weekly physical activity, older adults should do multi-component physical activity that includes balance training, which is huge, as well as aerobic and muscle strengthening activities. Older adults should determine their level of effort for physical activity relative to their level of fitness. And with chronic conditions, they should understand whether and how their conditions affect their ability to do regular physical activity safely. So again, when older adults cannot do the 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic activity a week because of chronic conditions or anything that they may have, they should be as physically active to try to get as close as they can. Again, it's just as their abilities allow them to. So heading lastly, not but least, the children and adolescents, which is the fun age. So it is important to provide young people opportunities and encouragement to participate in physical activities that are appropriate for their age and that are also, of course, enjoyable for them. So as we all know, there's tons of stuff out there. Sports camps for kids, obviously high school sports along the way. So children and adolescents ages 6 through 17 should aim for 60 minutes or more of moderate to vigorous physical activity daily. Most of the 60 minutes or more per day should either be moderate or vigorous intensity and should include vigorous intensity physical activities at least 3 days a week. And then again, as part of their 60 minutes or more of physical activity, children and adolescents should include muscle strengthening physical activity on at least 3 days a week. So that's big. You always want to throw that muscle strengthening in. So as you can see, these guidelines consist of the cardiovascular training and strength activities. You may be thinking where the flexibility comes in. That can come in during the warm up or cool down. Also, there's tons of classes out there like yoga, Pilates, you name it, Holly's specialty. These are all great classes to get your flexibility in your routine as well. So moving on from the chart, let's look at the big picture. So what is your why? We want to hit these guidelines and strive for these goals because we want to live the best life possible. So what is your motivation? Let's find your why. So go ahead and unmute yourself or put in the chat kind of what your motivation is to stay healthy and fit. Like for an example, I could say, I want to live to be 100 or just feel good overall. So if you have any ideas, put them in the chat or unmute yourself. We would love to hear.
While they're doing that too, Shannon, I just wanted to say, I saw a quote earlier that said, exercise is the magic pill, right? So for those looking for the magic pill, how you were saying all those benefits before, well, there it is, you know.
Right. Nick, I love it. So I can eat whatever I want, have loads of extra energy and functional strength to feel better, quality of life. Good, quality of life's a big one. To stay healthy and not need medications. Yes, I love that one. Exercise is the medication.
Yeah, that's a real good one.
Good.
Play with kids, grandkids. I know that's always one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, you know, I think I want to, of course, I want to live longer. I think everybody wants to live longer. You know, you want to feel good. Actually, I keep trying to get my husband to work out. He's not a fitness person, but whenever I work out, I just feel so happy that I started moving. You know, it boosts those endorphins. So if you're not doing it, just give it a try. I go up there and I try and tell him, like, just try it. He's not buying it yet, but that's okay. But another interesting point here that I thought was we have to remember it takes 4 weeks for you to notice a change once you start working out. It's going to take 8 weeks for friends and family, so about 2 months, and then it's going to take 12 weeks for the rest of the world to see improvements that you've made. So just keep going, even if people don't notice it. You know, start out doing it for you. So how do you accomplish a good workout? There's so many different ways to change it up and keep it interesting. So even little bits of, excuse me, exercise throughout the day add up. So you can always do 10 minutes at a time. One thing that I know we used to do when we worked in Newark, I used to park far away for the cheap parking. And it was a half a mile to get to the building and a half a mile back. So just parking far away added round trip 1 mile a day. So try to park further away all the time if you can. Standing is going to burn more calories than sitting. So if you can, you know, always stand up. Another thing, somebody on one of our meetings, it's a bunch of personal trainers and stuff, but while you're watching TV, if you have commercials, drop down, do a set of push-ups. You know, you'd be surprised how much you can get done just adding these little bouts in all the time. Sitting on a fitness ball instead of a chair, going to work your core a little bit more. Walking on your lunch break, right? Boost those endorphins, get some sort of movement in. Another good one is trading your couch for, let's say, a spin bike or a treadmill. So while you're watching TV, get in some exercise. So there's always ways to get it in. Jen, would you mind flipping to the next slide, please? Oh, thank you. So this is always good to see. I always like to see these. I think everybody loves to see these. So these are going to be the calories burned per hour. And this is on a 5'3" female weighing 166 and a 5'8" male weighing about 195. So I don't think it's any surprise here, right? Running's going to take it. But then we have also tennis, swimming. Spinning, real great one. I'm an avid spinner only because I can't run. So if your joints can't handle it, you know, spinning is a great one. Still going to burn a lot of calories. And then probably the most popular one right now is going to be HIIT, because that is going to be, again, what we're talking about, the balance, right? So you're getting the weights in there and you're getting your cardio. Of course, you're gonna have to get your flexibility in elsewhere, and the EPOC, right? So the calories that you're burning afterwards because you've been using your muscles in a weight training manner. So let's go ahead and go to the next slide, please. Thank you. Okay, and then these are just a couple more, right? So these are just a little bit lower intensity. I don't know if the rowing is on there. I can't see, but rowing is going to come in at 571. Then there's boxing. Regular aerobics will hit you about 409 for an hour. Pilates is going to be a little less, right? Yoga will be less. And of course, lifting is going to be much less. But again, you want to make sure that you're getting everything in. So you don't want to knock any of those things out. I think it's better to be good at everything than great at one thing, especially when we're talking about fitness and health overall. So how are you going to get started, right? Doing all this stuff. If you're new to it, the basic rule of thumb is you're going to go low and slow. So don't be heading in too aggressively. In fact, when you start lifting weights in the beginning, this is the only time they tell us for the first few weeks, you can get benefits from doing just 2 sets. So moving on from there, you're going to have to do 3 sets all the time. But that's good. That's good news. You know, you'll benefit from lower sets. Develop new habits that you can stick with for a lifetime. So you want to do activities that you're going to enjoy. Find something that you like, that you're going to stick with it. And then number 3 is just going to be to have some sort of support system. So they always have this one up top, and that's to have a workout buddy, to get a workout buddy. So for some people that works for, and I think it's great. Just don't let that workout buddy bring you down either. I know we used to have a lot of people that would come to the fitness center, and if their friend, they were working out with Sally, and if Sally decided to go out to lunch that day, well, then they weren't coming. So only do that workout buddy method if it's going to help you. Then there's social media groups, accountability. I think those are great. Another great one is to sign up for something like a 5K. Have some goal that you have to work towards, and that's going to inspire you to keep going. So I know a lot of people benefit from doing that. Fitness trackers are great, and of course, just goal setting overall. So have a goal for yourself. And I'll pass it to Shannon here.
Holly, touching on the spin, Mary Ann just said she bought a connected spin bike, and it came with a year of iFit. So on the spin run, yeah. Also speaking on the 5K and the half marathon specifically, I love to do that. Even if you're just signing up to virtually, especially now, to kind of keep on a training schedule, it helps. You know, you signed up, you spent the money for it, so you're going to train for it. So that's definitely some motivation there and some encouragement. So let's move on to what's in a workout. So there's 3 main components. We want to talk about the warm up, and then your main part of training is going to be that cardiorespiratory training, and then your resistance training, and then you'll head right into your cool down. So the warm-up normally involves large muscle body movements followed by light stretching and lasts typically between 5 to 15 minutes. The cardiorespiratory and the resistance training will be the bulk of your workout. Again, that should be around 20 to 30 minutes. And then your cool down, that's when you're going to bring your heart rate down and you're going to transition from activity to rest. And again, that'll last about the same as the warm-up, so 5 to 15 minutes. And that should include some stretching to improve your flexibility. So really, as you can see, the flexibility part of training comes into play during your warm-up and your cool down. If you can do 5 to 15 minutes of a warm-up, 20 to 30 minutes of your cardiorespiratory and resistance training, and then 5 to 15 minutes of a cool down, even if you hit that bare minimum. So 5 minutes for the warm up, 5 minutes for the cool down, and then say 20 minutes for the bare minimum of your bulk workout, that'll still be hitting you at 30 minutes. All right, so 30 minutes, that's all it takes, and 5 days a week stay. So that's huge, doesn't take much. So let's move on to, Jen, if you could flip to slide 6, please. And we'll touch on the FIIT principle. So the FIIT principles are an exercise prescription to help participants understand how long and how hard they should exercise. FIIT is an acronym that stands for frequency, intensity, time, and type. So you can see the little table over there. I'll actually go over to kind of like we started with the general guidelines. So frequency for weekly exercise would be about exercise a minimum of 3 to 5 days at least per week. Intensity, again, you want to aim for that moderate to vigorous intensity, which is recommended for the adults. And then the time, remember, 30 to 60 minutes per day at least. And then type, what we're talking about today, you want to aim for those 3 components: cardio, strength, and flexibility training to kind of keep that well-balanced fitness level. So you can see the table we have here on this slide, which is nice. It covers the FIIT principle for each exercise component. So you can take a look at that. We have the cardiovascular fitness, the muscular endurance, muscular strength, and then the flexibility. So if you look at the cardiovascular fitness under the intensity, we'll talk a little bit about the max and target heart rate. So if Jen, you could flip to slide 7, I'll touch on that a little bit. Perfect, thanks. All right, so with cardiovascular training, you can also pair intensity with your heart rate. So to figure out your max heart rate, I'm sure you've heard this before, you want to do 220 minus your age. And then for the target heart rate, the American Heart Association suggests that during moderate intensity activities, it'll be about 50 to 70% of your maximum heart rate. And then while vigorous physical activity, it's about 70 to 85% of your maximum heart rate. So once you find that target heart rate, you can monitor your heart rate to make sure you're in the zone. That's what kind of we were talking about before we logged on here. It's pretty cool to watch. As you exercise periodically, you can check your heart rate. You can wear a activity tracker. Some people have the Apple Watch. Holly has, what is it, the Whoop? The Whoop too. So I know there's several out there.
It's ridiculous, but yes.
Hey, it works. But if you don't want to, or if you don't have one, you can also do it manually. So I know, I'm sure most of you know, but you can use your 2 fingers on that thumb side of your wrist and press lightly over the artery. And then you'll just count your pulse for 30 seconds and multiply by 2 to find your beats per minute. So you could do it that way as well, to kind of find that target heart rate. So now let's turn over to the fun stuff. So the primary focus of the presentation, the types of exercise that help provide a balanced fitness routine. So I'll turn it over to Holly. If you could just flip to slide 8, Jen.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, kind of just how we were saying before is you want to make sure that you have a balance, right? So you want to make sure that you're doing that cardiovascular. We all know that. I think most important muscle, right, is your heart. So you want to make sure that you're getting in those workouts. I would say that takes priority. Your strength training. Now, strength training, you begin with 1 set of exercises targeting each major muscle group. And then you can play around with things. I would encourage everybody to try and come. We'll show you our class schedule later too, but we do have that virtual group exercise schedule where Shannon and I lead a bunch of classes there that are going to take you through a full body workout with weights and some flexibility too. And then flexibility training, of course, I would say it's great to try and take a yoga class. If you haven't taken one before, really try it. It's going to push your flexibility kind of to the next level. But certainly make sure that you are at a minimum stretching like 5 to 7 minutes before and after your workout, which I think kind of falls to the wayside for everybody. But you don't want it. You don't want to fall off the wagon with flexibility. I think everybody has seen a lot of people that only lift and then they have like no flexibility whatsoever. They got great muscle tone, but then you start pulling things right and left. You end up with joint problems. It's just a mess. Any one of those components that you're missing, it's just going to not benefit you. You don't need a gym to exercise, obviously, right? I think we all kind of learned that this past year. You could do it at home, get yourself a pair of dumbbells. I know that was difficult early in the year, but I think now you can find some resistance bands. So some people love resistance bands. You can probably get a pair for like $8 to $10. And then, of course, now with technology, right, we have this whole multitude of exercise videos that you can do. So there's really no excuse. I mean, there's tons of YouTube videos. Shannon and I, in fact, have done, and our other Exos counterparts have also made a whole bunch of an arsenal of YouTube videos. So if there's anything, that you guys might want to do or anything, you can give us your email in the chat box, and I'll send you a link to all those videos too. Of course, at the gym, you can utilize free weights, machines, and then you have your group exercise classes there. So you can get everything in there. And if you wouldn't mind flipping to the next slide 9, please. Thank you.
Yeah. Before we move on to the body weight workout, Holly, we have Larry with a question regarding the strength. And let's see, it says, what weight exercise burns the most calories? Lower weight with high reps or high weight with lower reps, or something in between? Let's go back up to that slide. So really, I would say, to answer that, I would say it goes kind of what you're looking for. Like if you were training for something specific, like endurance, I would say you would benefit. I know you're asking about calories, but it would benefit you more if you did like the lower weight, higher reps. But really, I think we do these a lot too, the compound movement. So like squat to the press, where you're doing strength and cardio. If you're looking for like a 20-minute class and you're getting strength and cardio in, I would say do something where you can get a decent amount of reps in. So a medium weight where you're going that full 20 minutes and doing squat press. Say you get 12 reps, you can get 3 rounds in. For the 20 minutes, you'll get the most calories burnt probably with the compound exercises with that medium weight.
Thank you.
If that answers, yeah. Holly, do you have any input?
Oh, Larry. Hey,
Larry, nice to hear from you.
How you doing, guys? Miss you guys.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's a good question because I think like it all kind of evens out in the long run. I don't know if everybody agrees with me, but everybody seems to work out almost at the same intensity no matter what you're doing. I know that I do. So, but I would say like lower reps, you're going to burn with lighter weight, you're going to burn more calories in that moment. But then if you're lifting heavier with less reps, you're going to kind of burn more after. So it almost equals out. And then again, like the best thing, and I know Larry knows, is to put that cardio in there too. That's where you're going to get the most bang for your buck. So if you could do those I know we're always like hit workouts, but there's a reason for it. So if you can get that cardio in between the weights and sometimes do heavy and sometimes do the light, I mean, that's going to be the ultimate. That's going to be the best thing you can do.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yep. So while we're talking about it, why don't we stand up? We'll do a couple of these. I know we don't have much time, so let's just go, Holly, if we both want to do 1 or 2. Okay. We'll take you through it. This is just an example of a quick, good like body weight, but again, strength and cardio involved. So again, you'll get some calories burnt with these. So let's just start. You could add some weight with them too if you wanted to, normally if you're doing this workout. So we'll start, let's just do 10 body weight squats. So go ahead, stand up, give yourself some room. So with this, guys, feet shoulder width apart, we're going right down into the body weight squat. So let's go straight down. Again, keep it at a good pace. That'll get that heart rate up, the blood's flowing. Good. And let's just go for 5 more. 5, yep, sitting straight back. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. All right, so we'll skip the push-ups. Again, push-ups, great. You get your core involved, chest, triceps. 20 walking lunges. So I'll show you a couple of these. This is, again, a great cardio exercise, but throwing that leg strength in as well. So you would really, stepping forward, you're going to keep it alternating. Again, just kind of use the space you have. I know not everybody has the right amount of space, but you would just keep it alternating, chest is tall, stepping out, dropping that back leg. So again, great for leg strength. Heart rate will be up as well. And then Holly, if you want to take it right into 2 exercises as well.
Yeah, so we were just trying to give you guys like just a quick little workout that you could do that would be well-rounded. So we also just have a plank on there as well. But if you can see on the slide, there's a 5-minute plank challenge, which is actually really, really good. So I would challenge you guys to try that out. Of course, you know, I said your heart is the most important. I always say everything is the most important here, but your lower back muscles and your core, super, 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 super important. You don't want to hurt your back. So try it. Try the 5-minute plank routine. And then give us an email. Let us know if you liked it. Yep. And Jen, if you want to go ahead and go to slide 10.
All right, perfect. So these are Holly and I's favorites. We can't stress enough on them. So again, the interval workouts. So HIIT, we've been talking about that quite a bit. Your heart rate is up the whole entire workout. Great for cardio and strength. So a great example would be like jump squats for 35 seconds on, doing 35 seconds of the jump squats, 12 seconds of rest, and then moving on to another exercise. You can throw it into circuits, have fun with it. 3, 2, 1. I don't know if you have ever heard of that, but it's on our group exercise schedule. We will touch on in a little bit. That's a great workout for cardio, strength, and then it has a minute of core. So what it is 3 minutes of cardio. You'll move on to 2 minutes of strength, and then you'll get that minute of core. So it's a 5-minute circuit. And then I normally try and go through about 5 times through that, 5 or 6 to hit that 30-minute mark. So whatever you have time-wise. And then Tabata is very similar to HIIT. It's a different format though, so where it's 20 seconds of work consistently, 10 seconds of rest. So this one is challenging. 20 seconds seems short, but when you're doing rounds of burpees, I promise you it is not. And then you'll get your 10 seconds of rest. So these workouts are great for burning the calories. Heart rate is up that entire time. There's also awesome apps out there. Holly and I have interval timers. That kind of keeps you on track with like the Tabata style. So 20 seconds, it'll time you for that, give you your rest for 10 seconds, and that'll just kind of keep you on track for the full workout. And then we'll jump to slide 11, and we're going to show you our offerings if you haven't seen the group exercise schedule.
Yeah, so here's our virtual group exercise schedule for those of you guys that haven't seen it, and you should try it out. In a half an hour, you could get a full body workout in with your weights, your cardio, and your flexibility. We also have yoga on there, and some mindset things too, for your emotional health, if you will. But I guess, you know, our key takeaway was just to make sure that everybody is really incorporating the flexibility, the strength, and the cardio. And if you're not, just to, you know, try to get you to try to incorporate that in. And if you guys have any questions, you know, we can open it up for questions right now, or you can email Shannon and I. Do we have our emails on there, Shannon, or
yeah,
no?
the next slide, I believe. So, yep, there they are.
Did anybody have any questions?
Oh, we got an email.
Coming. I just wanted to highlight that I did put in the chat your voucher code for attending today's Let's Talk Wellness for 100 Be Well points. So you can redeem by logging into your Be Well account. Click Home, Rewards, click Redeem a Voucher, and you'll enter the voucher code right there, located within the chat. Okay. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out. We'll keep it open forum, but also too want to remind you, next week we do have the balanced diet. following a healthy diet can be easier said than done. Check in with Nick Mojo to dive into some tips, recipes, and guidelines that you can follow to make the most of your next meal. And we will also be talking about Livongo. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. It is top of the hour, and we'll keep it open.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for coming.